Yesterday, we saw demons get slain. Today, we see titans fall. Hearts break, and the Bruins have now been eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs. I don't know what to say. I watched that game from beginning to end, and I have a little bit of sympathy for my boys, Orlov, a little bit of sympathy for Hathaway, a little bit of sympathy for Bergeron, but none for the rest of the team.
Oh,
Did they-
no Marshawn sympathy, dude.
A little bit, actually, yeah, just a little bit. And I'll give my flowers to Bertuzzi as well. He had a great playoff series, but after that, I've been shocked since, boys. Like, I did not. I honestly thought Boston was going to sweep them, and I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Did
I
we
s-
all have them in four, or did
I
someone
had
take
them
them
in
in five?
four. Oh,
I had them in four
I
too.
might have said I
You
forget if
might
I
have said
said
five.
either or 4 or 5. Nobody expected 7. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could have
I
said
But
I can't even tell you how many times I saw people going like Boston in 3. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like over
yes,
arrogant, not even just
especially after
Bruins
game one.
fans, but even like analysts
People who
weren't even
think they know
giving.
hockey, yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
like
think if you're in the professional writer, what is it, PHWPA, the Professional Hockey Writers Association, PWHA, no, PHWA, third time's
yeah.
the charm, boys. Do you think you would get your credentials revoked if you took the Panthers to win in 7 before the playoffs? Like, I think you would be
there's an
like
argument.
banished,
You would
shunned from the voting
I don't know,
process.
because here's the thing with the NHL. We've all agreed that anything can happen, right? I think like listen, if you're gonna be an NHL fan, you have to sign like a waiver or something, like consenting that that anything goes
Yeah,
in the NHL, right?
more so than the other North American sporting leagues.
100%, dude. Like
Yeah.
But this
name me
wasn't.
an
But
name
this
me
wasn't a.
another.
But I know where you're going. You're going to say hockey has a little bit more variables, a little bit more random, this and
I
that.
mean, it does.
This was a
Like,
Yeah.
systemic breakdown for the most systemic team ever.
yeah.
That OT was piss poor. What was that like? I don't have the box score in front of me, but 11 turnovers, 2 breakaways given away. Boys,
Yeah.
like what was that? And you think with the Bruins, what's the best aspect? What do they have that's the best bar
Oh,
none in the
their
league?
system.
The system
It's
and the defense. And
okay, that too.
I swear to
Yeah,
God,
deepest defense corner in the league.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I didn't see McAvoy make a completed pass the whole OT.
Hampus
That's a
Lindholm.
good one too. That's the one that I'm not
Ham-
concerned about, but I'm surprised by
Did
Lindholm.
he end up finishing with no point? Did he even get a point tonight?
Lindholm
I'll
0 points.
check.
McAvoy
Wow.
That's a
McAvoy didn't get a
My
point.
surprise.
God.
McAvoy didn't get a point either.
I
You know who?
like listen.
Really?
And
Points are gravy for Lindholm. Like he is an incredible shutdown guy, but
Mm.
0 is
Well,
almost
it's 0
unforgivable.
considering he put up a 50-point season. You know what I
True,
mean? Like
career
he
high.
was spectacular in the regular season.
and
I
you know
think
what?
that's surprising.
What's even more surprising is that like you could get points. Orlov had what, 9?
He had
It's
quite
not
a
like
Probably,
few.
they
it's not
probably
like
had
the
a ton.
defensemen
Yeah,
were impossible to get points, right? I just I don't know what happened. Like I think
best
every of these
defenseman in the series didn't even play for the Bruins. We talked about
Montour.
deepest decor in the league, and it was a guy who was traded for, I don't even remember. I think it was just a second, maybe a second in prospect. Kind of just shipped off just because. And it's not like, listen, this isn't his first year in Florida. That's the interesting thing too. Is this kind of builded for Montour, and he had this incredible year, and a lot of things that me and Dave as Leaf fans that have been watching Morgan Riley, a lot of similar stuff, sifting pucks from the point and just finding the holes in the goalies. Man, that's like the goalies on the Bruins, best tandem in the league.
I,
Not
I
that
think
good.
Man.
I think that they're both hurt. I'll be honest with you. They
You
did
think
not look
Swayman's hurt
100%.
too?
Yeah, personally, he did not. He looked swimmy. He looked
I
shaky, and
like
didn't look like Swayman.
but Swayman didn't have a bad game either. You know what I mean? Like he had to come in and step up it to like probably one of the toughest
No, Cole
jobs
going
in
into Game 7 is
hockey.
tough. It is.
You
Very
know what I
tough.
mean? And I think he performed well enough. I think the breakdowns in front of him
Yeah.
just were too much. Like you can't, like you said, Brian, dude, 2 breakaways. And they'd even that was like half. Like we were only 10 or so minutes into the overtime. So if you're letting up 2 breakaways in overtime
And 10
within
turnovers or
10
whatever.
with 10
Oh,
minutes,
bro.
like, oh my
Turnovers were
God.
the story of the whole series too. The whole series.
Yeah.
That was not
Very
Bruins.
uncharacteristic from them.
That was
Mhm.
not a 65-12 in whatever team. That was not. That was a big
So
mess.
so Brian, before we started this, like it was just me and you in our chat, right? What did I say like Boston was most famous for?
Oh, clutch. Game 7.
Clutch game 7. They had that game 7 mentality. They didn't have that game 7 mentality tonight. For some reason, like I I don't even know. Like I don't even know if it was like all maybe we should have saw this coming with the way that they were playing all series, but I think that's also discrediting the
The
Panthers players.
Panthers. Yeah, they
Man,
played their
oh
hearts out.
man. Matthew Kachuk. I mean, listen, I love Sasha Barkov, but Matthew Kachuk will be the next captain of the Florida Panthers. That guy is phenomenal.
Even on that tying goal, he stuck his butt just a little bit in front of Swayman, just a little bit more than he should have, but Swayman bit for it. And then that's exactly when Montreux took the shot and it went in. Montreux definitely should have had that. And I think McAvoy probably should have boxed out Kachuk or Orlov or whoever it was. But man, just the
What
small
is
things you don't do
Kachuk
it for everyone.
better at? Being like a hockey player or giving an interview? Like it's a tough one. I don't know which one he's better at. I love that guy's interviews. I said in the chat, the stuff he says, he's gonna be the John Cooper quotes. Like Paul Maurice is gonna have funny quotes, and we're gonna look into his stuff too. But if you want the Cooper, like just kind of the swagger, the cockiness, but like passive aggressively, Kachuk has that because he doesn't give it in a aggressive way. But like I don't know if you guys watched that interview when they got off the ice, but he was like, "We just completed the biggest upset in the history of hockey to everyone except the people in our room." That's a
Yeah.
that's a Cooper quote if I ever heard
And
one.
Oh yeah.
and you know who has done the 2 biggest upsets in hockey history? The guy in net, Sergei Bobrovsky.
That's
Oh
true,
my
man. I didn't even think about
God.
that parallel. Wow.
He's done it
Holy
twice,
hell.
and he's
Wow.
hot right now. He has the hot hand going into the next.
He
Sorry, I'm
was
sorry, boys. I'm so
he
sorry.
was on Columbus. I
He
still
was.
find that
He was the goalie there. Yeah. It was
that is so bizarre.
that season they lost the Breadman and Bob, and then yeah, then
Duchesne.
They lost half their team. It was like it was them two
That was a
plus
Duchesne one line.
yeah,
Duchesne. They had Dzingel as well. He was pretty awful for them, but still a big move.
They
all for
went
1 round.
in, but it was
But
worth it.
It was well worth that 1 round.
yes,
Man, like
okay,
I
Who do you guys feel the most awful for? Or do
Bergeron.
we
Bergeron,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Like it's
Actually,
just that was
Yeah.
tough to watch, man. That was really tough, especially when
Listen,
Marchie was at the end of that line and it wasn't a handshake. It was like, let me put my head on your shoulder, Marchand. Like I'm gonna freaking haul my eyes out.
dude, all 3 of us have our own personal gripes with the Boston Bruins, but you can't sit here and tell me that when you see Bergeron, like Marchand too, but when you see Bergeron crying like that, knowing it could possibly be that could have been his final shift. He was on the ice for the goal that iced the series, that iced his career. That could have been his final shift in the National Hockey League.
so
Like,
I
oh
wanted to
man,
I wanted to ask you guys this. Bruins have 2 guys in their team. One of them guaranteed Hall of Fame, the other one potential on the brink of it. David Krejci and Patrice Bergeron. Run it back 1 more year or no?
Just based off of what we saw on the ice, like I don't think they're good. I don't think Bergeron is gonna run it back.
Eh,
I think like he's got
dude,
miles on him, and we talked about the injuries he's played through. So he has total like he's got no reason to come back really. He's done it all. He's won a cup, won all these Selkies. We know the situation with his father, which was like that's the real heartbreaker too, right? Battling with injury, playing in Montreal, all that stuff. Like just on a human level, that is horrible, man. They'll try their best to run it back because I don't think you can go backwards with this team. You've invested so much of your future into it. that
Oh,
even if Bergeron and Krejci go,
I do
like
have
they gotta.
I do have some news. So this is per Elliot Friedman source, like right now. He just tweeted this out. He said Patrice Bergeron says he will take time to decide his future and that he had a herniated disc in his back.
He played
So
with a
a
herniated
back
disc.
injury is always
Wow.
anytime a back injury like that's and a herniated disc that is
Tough.
dangerous to play with.
That
That
is
is
tough, tough,
dangerous.
tough.
Spinal cord. You're talking literally just a piece of cartilage in between your spinal cord that isn't really in the right spot anymore. That listen, man. Like Dave, you were going down the hole anyways. Like just nothing but respect for that guy.
Yeah.
Nothing for respect coming from a Leaf fan that put us in an absolute state of misery over and over
Oh,
again.
oh my God,
There's a
dude.
reason
I
his
will.
nickname is Saint Patrice, right?
Yeah.
Like
Dude,
he is a saint.
2013, that man legitimately drove a dagger into the hearts of millions of Leaf fans worldwide, whoever was watching that game. And I'll stand here today, 10 years later, and give him his flowers where it's due. That guy is a leader on and off the, like, we talk about leaders. That guy embodies a leader, and he embodies a Boston Bruin. Like,
Yeah.
When
If you're making this team from scratch, right, and you got to have a captain, let's just leave the off on ice. Let's leave the on ice talent out of it. Just you want a guy who's going to be a verbal captain. Just who do you want to captain your team? I don't know if I'm taking anyone over
number
Bergeron.
37. Yeah, that's the
I
guy.
honestly don't. Right. So
And I can definitely see Bergeron being the type of guy to still be part of the Bruins organization. Even
oh,
like
that guy's got GM written all over him. If
one
you
day,
tell 10 years
coach,
from
assistant
now,
coach,
yeah,
something.
he's
He's gonna slowly
if
work
something.
his way
Jim
up.
Montgomery is his coach right now, and if Bergeron was announced as the new GM of the team tomorrow, like Montgomery's like, yeah, bro, I'll take all of my orders from you. I was doing it while you were on the team. I'm all good with this, man. From player to GM in a year. Do it, Bergie.
So, another thing I just want to ask you guys is when Tampa got swept by Columbus that year, that had a bit of a haha, you guys suck, records for nothing kind of a feeling to it. This time around, do you guys feel different? Because I honestly I feel sympathy.
I do
Like
too. I do
I don't know
too.
what it is. Like I just feel bad.
So, but are you asking now, is this gonna, because we know now what happened with that Tampa team, right?
Yep.
That
That's a
loss
good point.
lit a
Good point.
fire right under their asses. And they came back with 2 straight cups, 3 straight Stanley Cup, like 3 straight finals appearances. I don't know if the Bruins are in that same situation. They very well could be. It looks like
Cannot count them out.
You
it
can't
looks
count
like
them out.
no,
No, you're
and
right.
that's the thing, right?
We counted them out before this season, man.
We
how
did,
can
and it
you
didn't look
Right?
good.
how can you even like count them? Like, you can't. Like, I don't
No.
bet against the Bruins, but this could literally turn into anything, man. Like that. Maybe during, like, when the Tampa thing happened, everybody was calling for Cooper's head, for the team to be blown up, for Yzerman's head, right? It was years of playoff futility for them, or at least not to where they wanted to be.
But Dave,
But they stood
heart
pat,
but Dave,
right?
heartbreak and humiliation are two different things. You know, two different impacts on a team potentially.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
and I don't know, you lose your captain. Bergeron's a big locker room guy. I don't remember any big exits after the
Well,
Tampa Bay
that's the thing.
situation.
They
No.
stood pat, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, when they were at a crossroads, they chose the path to stand pat and run it back, right? And it worked out marvelously for them.
But my point is, like, when you say run it back, how can you run it back with this exact same
Well, we
team?
don't know,
You
right?
physically can't. Like with the
I
cap
mean,
situation, expired contracts, you can't.
I don't know, dude. Like,
I
we'll
know what you mean.
see.
It's like all I see. Okay, the Bruins logo is a big B, right? But now it's just a big question mark. Like, what now? Like, what do we do? What
Very
happens?
poetic, Brian.
And
Very visual there. Wow.
but the only thing we do know is that Florida will be playing in the second round against Toronto. Ironically,
Wow.
my God,
Like who would have
who would have
thought?
thought?
Who would have
Yeah,
thought?
We got to run the table in Florida, boys. We're moving up the state. Maybe after that we go to Carolina. We're just gonna slowly move up. I'm getting
Just
out of
keep going
myself.
up the
but
Yeah,
eastern
but
border.
but now,
Eastern Seaboard.
but now that you guys see the teams that are left, you got Toronto, you got Florida. Well, I'm gonna go just with the East: Toronto, Florida, Carolina, and then one of the Hudson Bay teams. Aren't you guys a top dog now?
Well,
Um,
I think
uh,
Jersey and the Rangers have a real
Shot.
and
I think it's
I'm
anyone's,
discrediting
man. It's
I'm
anyone's.
discrediting the Hurricanes. Like, it's so tough. I don't even want to be considered the top dog because once you're that top dog,
Look what
Everybody's
everybody's
just
out for you.
gunning
happened.
for you,
Look what just
right?
happened to the top dog.
Oh my
Exactly,
God.
right? Like how
I
crazy
want
is
to be
that?
the small dog. I want to be a chihuahua. Okay. No,
That's what I'm trying to.
Brian, I said this in our chat. Like, dude, all 8 teams that are going to be in the second round, like, it doesn't matter if Seattle or Colorado wins tonight, Rangers or Devils, like, it is anyone's game for the cup. Anybody's, man.
That was another thing too,
It's,
dude. Boston, like everybody was already like everybody was so quick to start pinning Boston's name on the cup. Like
yeah.
they probably already had like the nameplates drawn out and like ironed on or whatever, lasered on. Like now they got to throw that out. You know what I mean? Like that's insane.
You
It's
ask
so
people their
so
cup
crazy.
pick, and it was like Boston or the field. Like, that's how you would phrase the question, right? On the these
How many people were saying it was going to be Boston Edmonton in the finals, right? Or
Oh,
Boston
that was the
Colorado.
popular one, yeah.
Man,
I had
Boston
Boston,
he
Dallas.
Edmonton.
I'll be honest with you guys.
Colorado
That's a good
right
one though.
now, they are down to
Seattle
uh
in this moment.
Seattle in this
Yeah.
One
current
nothing.
moment, 1-0
One
right
nothing.
now. So
While we're
y-
recording, okay.
give us another couple hours. Like if we were here another couple hours later, we could be saying the exact same thing about the reigning Stanley Cup champions. Like who knows?
That's
Okay.
true.
Do we want to look forward a little bit here?
Yeah,
Do you
let's
want to
do
get a
that.
little bit excited? Now we can put a name to the team that the Toronto Maple Leafs are playing in the second round. Florida Panthers from
So
Tampa Bay to Sunrise.
you guys want to go? Tickets are
To a
definitely
game?
cheaper.
Oh, dude, 100%.
Oh,
Oh, did you guys see what the ticket prices were today? The pre-sale came out? Dude, it was $600, like
oh
up in
yeah,
the
yeah,
upper deck. Oh,
yeah.
No, but it's
Okay, but
definitely cheaper
I had to
first.
shelve it, man.
It,
I
you
just
did it?
like
Oh, you
no, no, no.
chalked it.
I had
Oh,
to. I chalked it, and I said, dude, at this point, you save it for a potential other round.
it's true.
getting ahead
I
of yourself there. Well, I don't blame you because you definitely see a target that you need to go through next. How are you guys feeling?
just excited. Like, I don't think you can feel like I know that we had the we want Florida chance, and we talked about that earlier today. Like, you cannot look at it that way. That's like kind of loser mentality. And Dave laid out his
That
reason. He's
is
like, screw it, I
that
want the
is also
Bruins.
bulletin board material as well.
Oh my God, yes, that's a great point, Dave.
If
Great
I'm
point,
Paul
man.
Maurice, first thing
You are
tomorrow.
Florida. We're Florida.
Yeah.
Like,
First thing
that's a
tomorrow.
stupid
And
quote.
and oh dude, if Paul Maurice, if you're telling me right now that Paul Maurice isn't jacked the fuck up to come back to Toronto and play, oh man. So
So,
for anybody who I'll just put a quick aside for anybody who doesn't know, like Paul Maurice was basically that first coach that the Leafs had in the post it was like that's that end of Sundin era into the really dark years of Toronto Maple
Yeah.
Leaf hockey. And Paul Maurice was basically just run out of town after one season. And it was, you know what, I think a little bit unfair for him. He had some really bad goaltending during his
It's been
time
a
here.
story his whole career, right?
It has been a
That's
story.
always been the thing.
It was
Yeah.
almost a
Until
story
Hellebuck.
this playoff run,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Hellebuck was the one outlier. And then hilariously, like you said, goaltending came up large for him in this series.
Yeah.
I
speaking of
can't wait
gold,
for Paul Maurice quotes. He's so, dude, that guy's exciting, man. I mean, that guy's like just enjoyable. I'm going to watch his pressers 100%.
speaking of goaltending, Samsonov has to face another Russian goalie.
I
You
love
know?
this storyline. The Russian revenge tour for Sammy. I
Oh
love
man, it's
that.
great.
there's the potential for another one. I gotta stop
Say it.
mentioning
Say it.
other
Oh
rounds,
I
man,
want you
man.
to say
I
it. I
gotta
want you to say it.
stop mentioning
Who's
other
who's the
rounds.
last
there
one?
could be two
Who's
of
the last
them.
one?
Like depending on who makes it out of that series that we're talking about,
I'm,
it
I'm
could be.
thinking. I'm thinking of a matchup that I wanted to see the Capitals face and Samsonov crush this team so bad in the third round. You know where I'm going with this?
No, no, I'm
Yeah.
talking about Shesterkin. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
obviously, yes. I'm trying to think if there's a Russian in the western side of things, but the closest is your Bulgarian Georgiev, right? That's your. I don't
Yeah.
really think there's a Russian goalie, but
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
yeah, I do like the Russian revenge tour for Sammy. I think that's really cool. All of the and it's all older goalies
I
too. Well,
It's all
Shesterkin's younger, I
Vesna
think, but
winners, former
that's
Vesna
so
winners
true,
there.
man. Wow.
I also just
All
wanted to
right.
let you guys warn you guys about one more thing. Verhage has Samsonov figured out. He killed us last
So
season.
does he always go the same spot? I think it's just Verhage. It's just
Verhage
a
on
good
Samsonov,
player.
I don't know what it is. Like a
Verhage
20%, twenty
also.
Didn't he
percentage on
score?
this guy.
Didn't he have the 4 goal game on him? Is that what you're like referring to? Didn't he
I'm
score
just
4 goals
referring.
in the playoffs
I'm just
last
talking
year?
about the. I don't remember that specifically. Like that's a blur, but I just remember every single time Verhage took a shot, it was like a very high chance of it going in, and they're always high danger chances.
I just think he's kind of good. I don't know
Yeah,
if it's a
that's true.
Sammy. I don't know if it's a Sammy specific
Yeah,
thing. That's all I was trying to
Verhage
say.
also, regardless, turns it up against the Leafs as well. He's slowly becoming the Florida Leaf killer. You know, I
One
think
of these legends.
every
He's on a
team's got
revenge tour.
one. Yeah, every team's
Yeah.
got one. That's Verhage.
So
Uh,
one more storyline I just wanted
mhm.
to bring up because the US U18s won the gold today. Florida Panthers have another American player that was also drafted in 2016. He's pretty freaking good. His name is Matthew Tkachuk. Matthew Tkachuk versus Austin Matthews. Matthew versus Matthews. Kind of a great storyline there.
Oh,
And
it's a fantastic storyline.
and you throw Bunting in there too against Matthew Tkachuk. I don't know.
There's a lot of sneaky little rats on
For
Florida. The
Radko
team that
Gudas.
throws rats on
Ryan
the ice.
Lomberg.
Ratco? Dude, how has that not been like patented? I hope that's the nickname that hasn't been used for him yet. Ratco Gudis. Oh my god.
Dude,
Um
Florida's got to start bringing the Rats back for round two. I want to see. I
well
want to
they
see it.
did, man. They threw him for game 6, no?
Did
Yeah.
they?
Pretty sure.
Yes,
Didn't
they
see
did.
Yeah,
that.
Yes,
What
they
the
did.
hell?
at the end of game 6, man. Yeah, yeah. So
Oh, good
we're
for
in
them.
Ratland. Yeah. I'm just looking at see, this is a dangerous game to play, but like just looking at their forward core, like if you just want to do the forward versus forward, defense versus defense, goalie versus goalie. I don't know. We're goalie edge, I think you got to give it to Florida just off of experience.
So which
What we
Bob are
see
you
in this
getting?
series.
Yeah.
Because
You
it's a
don't
coin
know,
flip.
but which Sammy are
Yeah,
you getting? Right?
that's
It's
true.
a coin flip for either one of these guys. So I think Ty goes to the veteran, right?
Yeah.
Um, he's played good this series, so it's tough. It's tough, and we know that Bobrovsky, like when he's hot, he's hot. So
Yes.
I think you give them the edge. Um, and they both have 2 question marks as backups. So if it became a backup versus backup game for whatever reason, like I don't know, throw your hands in the air. Who the hell's with that?
I mean, is Murray even on the bench
No, I
right
mean
now?
Wall. Yeah, well, I think it just started
Oh,
skating, and I don't think they would even put Murray in for Wall. I don't think, right?
It's Wall
I
versus
think after
Lion.
seeing, after
Yeah.
seeing Keefe be willing to take Hall out of the lineup, I don't think he would go Murray over Wall. That's what I think there. So just looking
yeah.
at the forwards here, like there's some not
The
no names because that's
they're sneakily
disrespecting a
good.
team
They're
that just
sneakily deep.
they are like there's guys who don't have house name value, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's not household
Etu
names.
Luosterainen, yeah, household
He's good.
names. He is good. So that's the guy who like that's the guy who's gonna score some like a 2 goal
Yeah.
game on us. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
Luosterainen, everyone's gonna know who
Third line
Luosterainen
center.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you know what
yeah.
the problem is? It's because Florida is that under the like they're not the Tampa Bay, like they're not
No.
Tampa, right? They're the under
Smallest
the
team in their
radar.
own small markets, hockey state,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly,
The
right?
little brother.
This could potentially be the big breakout for a lot. If it's not for the franchise itself, it could be a breakout for a lot of the players on that team. They're gonna get exposed to the biggest market in hockey for 4 to 7 games. I know 100% everybody on that team is showing up for every single minute.
Okay.
So that Bruins fourth line, because I'm just trying to like figure out like how the Panthers beat the Bruins here. If you want to just like compare fourth lines, Bruins fourth line pretty damn slow, pretty huge, but pretty slow. Like they're running either Foligno or Frederick, Nosek, and
Florida
Hathaway, right?
Florida has a technical fourth
Florida's
line.
yeah, they're just throwing out like I don't know what is it, freaking Nick Cousins, Eric Stahl, and Giovanni Smith or Zach
White or
Dalpe,
something like that.
Zach Dalpe,
Colton
baby.
White, right? So Colin White, um, they've got a ragtag bunch of bottom six guys. That's where the Leafs have to win the battle, I think. Like the top sixes, like Florida's got a nasty top six. Barkov, Kachuk, Bennett, Verhage, Duclair, Reinhart. Or I don't know if I mentioned Reinhardt. Lost Rainen as your 3C. Anton Lundell is a guy with
Underrated.
tons of pedigree who could totally break out. He had a great rookie year, on not as good a year this year, but that guy kind of scares me.
I,
And then if Longberg comes back, I've already talked about he's an underrated rat.
I wanted
I don't
to.
know.
It's closer than we think, and one thing that they play with
Yeah.
is pedigree. I mean, like they're playing on a high after knocking out the greatest regular season team of all time, right? I also just wanted to ask you guys this: your right side, Shen, Brody, and Liljegren. Their right side, Ekblad, Montour, Gudis. Who are you taking?
Oh, that's not a question. You go Florida there.
But then you go left side. You go with you guys.
Yeah,
it's
well, who do you got? You got
Riley
Forsling.
Stahl, Mahura.
Yeah, you definitely take us. Riley, McCabe,
and
Gio,
Gio.
right?
It's gonna be such a
Yeah.
battle, and I'm
So
so
I think
excited.
I said I think their D is way more mobile as a whole than ours. Ekblad can skate. Montour, probably best skater on either team's blue line. Riley's maybe the only guy who can match him. Forsling, also a great skater, good offensively. Radko Gudas, underrated skater who can actually make a breakout pass. People don't realize that about him. He's definitely a Radko Gudas, but he's actually a decent hockey player.
I think for his frame, everybody kind of typecasts him as the
Yeah.
the big lumbering,
like the Zach
slow.
Bogosian.
Exactly. Like that. You couldn't have even said it. I couldn't have even
Yeah.
thought a better play. Like that's a perfect comparable.
He's not Zach Bogosian,
he's
man.
not
He's
Zach
honestly
Bogosian.
closer to like he's not Jake Muzzin or Jake McCabe because he doesn't have the offense, but
He's
he's physical and can actually move the puck.
Yeah.
And his shot, he's gonna break someone's ankle with a shot in
It's
this
a laser
series.
beam.
If you go look at, I'm pretty sure I don't remember who posted it, but like now that we have the NHL tracking data, we know how hard everyone's shot is. He had like probably like 5 of the top 10 hardest shots of the whole season.
Yeah.
And like we're talking like 99 in game, right? This isn't an all-star comp. He was hitting like 99 just at the blue line casually. So
This
that
guy's
guy's got a rocket. He's got a rocket.
Put him in the MLB, baby. He's throwing 99 down the middle.
Literally,
Okay.
man. Yeah.
So before we close up, I just wanted to ask anything else you guys want to bring up? Anything else you want to say?
I can't even think of anything
Exciting
right
times,
now.
man.
I'm
We're gonna get a
still
lot
in
more
shock.
news as the days go by. Yeah, it is a lot of shock. Just okay. Just to bring up the two collapses again, the parallels, Tampa and the Bruins. Tampa gets swept. They end up playing Boston in the second round. No, Columbus,
Yeah.
and they lose.
Yes.
They get crushed.
Did they get swept?
I don't know if they got swept, but
Okay.
it was not definitely didn't hit at
5 or
least
6 games.
6 games. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
Okay, so we'll
if
see what happens with
Columbus
Florida.
won a game, it was like by the stroke of luck.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with Florida.
It was
And
game 6. It was game 6. Yeah, I have it here.
Was
6
it?
games.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. All right. And on the other side of or the other part of that bracket that year would have been Toronto, Boston. What am I saying? Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys lost to them. You guys like the projection was Bolts Boston was going to be second round, but obviously
Could have
ended
been a
up
lot
being
of Bolts Boston predictions this
Could
year
have been.
too.
Yeah,
yes,
that was another
yes.
one too, right?
Yeah. So that's
Man.
that's interesting. It's just fun. It's gonna be a great series. So many storylines. Kachuk bunting.
I hated that season, by the way. The 2019 one. Fuck, that's the one that I always think like if Justin Williams didn't screw us over in
Justin
that game
Williams
7, we could have
wasn't
went far. That could have been us. That could have been our year, you know? Didn't happen that way,
Back to
obviously,
back.
but yeah, it's okay. Whatever.
It's all right.
any
So-
former caps on the Panthers for us to worry about, Brian? Or
Raiko
I don't think
Gudis.
so. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Was
But I don't think they're
Duclair a
missing him
cap?
that much.
Huh? Pardon me, Dave?
I thought Duclair was a
Duclair.
cap.
No, no,
Oh.
I wish.
I know.
Honestly, half the guys on the team, I wish we had him, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, that's right now. We could have asked you that question like any other time, maybe like 3 years ago when you guys were really riding on a high.
I'll tell you what, I've always been big on Florida. I've always had
Yeah,
a
I
soft spot.
will say, yeah, your Barkov call, like, was it 4 years ago? I think has
Since he got drafted. But
yeah, what a
anyway,
call up.
anything else you guys want to say before I close off?
I can't believe we're even here. I'll be honest with you.
You're still shell shocked?
I'm still shell shocked about the
Yeah.
Leafs, and then you throw this series
This
into
curveball?
the works. It's like,
I,
man,
I
It's a
actually do
bracket
have
breaker.
I actually do have one more question actually for you guys. For both, it only applies to you guys and your fan base. You guys a little relieved or what?
Dave's not. Dave. And
I
listen, I think with the dream run was through Boston too, right? I
yeah.
was watching the game from a stress-free standpoint, but when push came to shove, overtime, shooting for the Panthers. I was shooting for the Panthers. I was. I forgot to admit it.
I feel I do like now, like, I'm gonna take off my blinders here. Is it probably a better matchup for the Leafs, us getting the Panthers? For sure. But I also don't want the Leafs to also then take the Panthers lightly either at the same time.
Yeah.
But 100%, dude, I was cheering for pure chaos in the second round. I really wanted Boston.
We took out demons, and the next would have been
Yeah,
dragons, right?
you know what it is. If you're gonna hit, if let's just say hypothetically we do the thing, the thing of all things. Let's say we do it. I would have really liked to have Boston's head mounted on the wall instead of Florida's, but I'm also not going to be upset if we have Florida's head mounted on
Wait,
the wall too.
our cup run, we have the best. Like it's all the other teams that we
That
beat
was
are
your
engraved. Yes, it's
yeah.
engraved in our ring. So it's Columbus, Pittsburgh, Bolts, Golden Knights. It looks so good in the inside of the ring, and it has the series like numbers like
And you
inside.
know what it is
Oh,
too? You
fantastic!
guys between the okay, like Golden Knights, I think we could put an X through in terms of like like, when we talk about
But we were the first team to cut their heads
Boston.
off. We were the
Yeah,
first.
no, I know, I
There's
understand,
something
but like
there.
I'm saying when we talk about Boston as the boogeyman in the closet,
So we
right?
talk about Pittsburgh.
You guys talked about Pittsburgh. You guys also like the Bolts gave you guys a run for your money a couple of years as well. Like, man,
1 year, yeah. And it's good to. You're right. It's nice knowing that the head is on the wall. I just want one more team, which is the Rangers, which will be coming in my lifetime. I'm confident about
oh
that.
yeah, it's coming.
But
It is coming.
I'll tell you what, boys. Just like any other Toronto people, in the summers, you come back to Toronto, but in the winters you fly to Florida. This time a little bit different. In the summers
Dude,
you are flying
We're
to Florida,
we're gonna be
but
going back and forth. Round
you're going
trip,
back and forth.
baby.
Maybe 7 times, but we'll see
do
what
you think we
happens.
could outnumber the Panthers in their own building?
Oh, 100%. I think that's
Because
a
listen,
guarantee.
we couldn't tell in the Bold series because everyone's wearing blue. It's gonna be really interesting, man. Really interesting.
If you guys want to go, we can make
Oh,
it
dude, I'm
happen.
down. I am
Okay,
so down.
we'll make it
Put it
happen.
under the business expenses. Let's
There
go.
you
Let's
go.
go.
Somebody reach out to us. We're willing to go. 3 willing men.
Hey,
Fubo,
Billy the
NHL
Greek,
Shop this year.
get us, man.
Corey, Zach, you guys listening? Anyway, I'm gonna close it off now because, like we said, this will only be like 15, 20 minutes. It ended up being 35, but regardless.
Yeah, whatever.
So shout out to Razor, shout out to Fubo TV if you want to watch Hockey Night in Canada. If you want to watch Game 1 of the Leafs Florida series, it's gonna be on Fubo TV. I highly recommend you get it. It's the best place to watch hockey. Well, playoff hockey. Another thing I just wanted to mention is if you want to get your Carter Verhaeghe Florida Panthers jersey, NHLshop.ca. Links down below. Thank you guys for listening. That's a wrap.